back for
You're
SL.
draining everybody.
You just drain people right in their freaking face, dude. You don't even care. You know you're gonna come out on top of that.
Yeah, you absolutely need to pet out those
Oh,
SL,
man.
so that's something to take in consideration is the reset timer when you die.
So SL, big meaty boy at the expense of damage and some finesse and stuff, right? And then Affliction, if you go deep into Affliction, that's going to unlock more of your spread pressure potential. Now, there's a lot of different ways to build these out. So I don't know if we'll have time to go into each individual variation, but I think that's all about we can cover with specs, right? I mean, what do you guys think? Is there anything you want to mention with regard to specs? There's some noteworthy talents that I would like to mention. Let me pause though.
What?
I don't want to like self-promote, too much, but I do have a video covering PvP-wise specs.
Oh my god! I have to get my Void Walker out for this.
I don't want to like self-promote or. But there's just so many different specs that are good for different things. But again, if I had to say what I prefer, it's gonna be SM Ruin.
I don't have a target.
Noteworthy
I don't
talents.
know how it's
Sorry, go ahead.
been on server. I don't know how it's been on your server, but everyone and their mother has a shadow reflector too on mine, and a lot of the tier 1 gear has shadow resist baseline. So it's definitely something to take in consideration with Deep Destro.
Definitely. Some noteworthy talents to consider. Suppression in the Affliction tree. Usually you get one. I usually get 1 point because you get 1% off your Felheart robes. But OG Jeffrey approached me the other day. He was saying, "Does it feel like people are resisting more often?" A lot of people have been saying it feels like people are resisting more. So you can maybe get another additional point in there. Get 2-3 points into suppression and make sure your stuff is connecting with people. Make up for that extra shadow resist. One of my favorite talents in all of the Warlock trees is the Fel concentration, right? Giving you that 70% pushback resistance on drains. If you get that, you can now drain tank. You can drain tank in some capacity, right? Like it's an awesome talent. I can't imagine. It's really tough playing without it. So that's one thing I want to mention. The next thing I want to mention is Demonic Embrace. If you can see it on the Demonology tree, it's this one that it's right next to the Improved Imp. Doesn't matter what spec, or you could be Destro, you could be SL, you could be Affliction. If you get these 5 points, you're gonna get that big tankiness of the Warlock. Like the tankiness of the Warlock is in large part unlocked by this talent, right? So even when I go Destro, I don't like to go Nightfall. I like to get 5 points in this Demonic Embrace. Therefore, I can get my HP up pretty damn high, and you can still get it up to like 6K because there's nothing else improving your health other than this, right? So you're gonna get some mitigation in the form of Soul Link, in form of Master Demonologist and stuff. But the only thing increasing your health with talents is Demonic Embrace, and you can get that really as any spec. So.
SM Ruin would do that for VR too.
Oh, SM Ruin, right. But you could go,
That's a big issue with SM Ruin.
Yep. Go squish.
Yeah, you also lose out on improved Healthstone, and when those things crit, they pretty much restore your entire health.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the huge downfalls of SM Ruin, is you don't get Demonic Embrace, and you don't get improved Healthstone. So, I mean...
I think as better gear becomes available, it'll be less of an issue not having Demonic Embrace, but right now it's definitely something you gotta consider. Also with Suppression. Yeah, with Suppression, if you really dislike Shadow Priest, then it's worth going a little higher because they have talents they can spec into that gives them a lot more Shadow Resist, the chance to miss with spells. I'm told that Rogues
Too bad
have
I
a
can't
talent
fucking
for it,
kick
too,
that.
I'm not very familiar with the Rogues talent tree, so it's something to consider when you're spreading your points out.
Very true. Another one I want to mention too is improved Spellstone. Now, I don't know if you guys find yourself in the same boat, but oftentimes, I'd say more often than not, if I'm just
yeah, I'm having way more fun as Warlock, man. I just
or max rank Spellstone. I would actually give the edge to Spellstone. I more often than not have a Spellstone equipped max rank at this current state of time. And the Imp Spellstone, I think it increases it by like 300. The Absorb, it's actually a pretty sizable amount. Someone in the chat will know the exact number value, but that's not something that you necessarily want to sleep on. That was pretty sweet talent there.
The improved Spellstone is just great. Usually, personally, I'm always rolling with this. Or I'm rolling with Skull of Impending Doom. I don't really Furblood pouch a lot. I probably should, honestly. I just don't, because if I'm always gonna spellstone, you know. But you got to be careful with your spellstone because it removes all magical effects. It will remove all your buffs, all your debuffs. And another thing, like with spellstone, it pairs up really good with some trinkets, which I think we're going to talk about later. Some trinkets, but spellstone is just, you know, you just wreck a mage's entire day. It's just spellstone, you know.
Yeah, it's really useful against shamans too. I know you guys don't have to deal with them as hard, but it saves my butt quite a few times against shamans that like.
They can purge it off though, right?
Yeah, they can, but I mean, they're still. I used to play on a private server where you would fight like, you know, shamans, even though like it was. I forgot the name of it. Anyway, but they'll still have to use a global. So depending on, you know, what you're doing.
You use it early too, and you have a bunch of the trash buffs up at that point. That being by being great, you just get value from it, right? Get value from it. You always want to get the cooldown on your stones like ticking, right? Because you can use another one within the fight as long as you just keep it in mind. Like I always have. I don't always
There's
have
so many
ranks of
people here,
spells,
man.
right? But I always have 2 ranks of spells for mage. You want to have the major and the greater one. The third one, sometimes I slack off on that a little bit because it's another inventory slot, right? But yeah. Switch around,
The same could be said about your Hellstone in raiding situations. Not a lot of people like will have 2.
Oh shit! Oh, he
Hellstones,
died.
But if somebody's expecting into improved Healthstone,
Oh,
you could
he
have the
died.
max rank Hellstone and then your own Hellstone. Something like that I will do on longer fights, maybe like a Ragnaros fight or Onyxia. I will actually try to carry 2 Hellstones.
Maybe 2 Nixias. You're pumping Nixia. Phase 2 is
Yeah.
So if I had to recommend one spec as a closing thought, and everyone can put their own opinion on this too, if you want to raid and also be effective in Battlegrounds, with Battlegrounds around the corner in 8 days, SM Ruin you will do fine in a Battleground as SM Ruin, and you can also raid as it as well. That'd be the spec you guys think would be the best all around?
Honestly, if you're just gonna focus on ranking and PvP, and you know, and maybe even it depends on what you're trying to do, but it's either gonna be SM Ruin or Soul Link, some type of variation. I don't know if it depends on what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
But
I'm just trying to think of someone who doesn't have the money to respec. Maybe they want to casually do BGs or something, right?
Yeah, SM Ruin, I'd vote for.
Yeah. Okay, so we talked about viable PvP specs. Let's get into 1v1 matchups. Everyone loves to talk about 1v1 matchups. We've got all the classes lined out here. We're going to start with the Warrior guys. What do you guys think about Warrior? Are we favored? Is it neutral? Are we at a disadvantage?
I think if you're Soul Link, it's a face roll.
Yeah. I'm just gonna pretend that Soul Link doesn't exist, because you're gonna bring up every single class and just like, oh, we'll just face roll them. If we're Soul Link, we're gonna like face roll almost everything. But I'm just gonna answer like that we're playing something else, like SM Ruin or Nightfall Flag or something.
Yeah, so definitely SM Ruin with Curse of Exhaustion. I think you're slightly favored. Warriors with like Bone Reaver's Edge are obviously gonna be a problem.
Oh, Bone Reaver's Edge. Ooh, big slapper. DRM, yeah, that thing is insane.
Yeah, if they pop wreck with that, it's kind of GG.
Yeah.
But it also depends on the situation. Like, are we talking 1v1 duels where you know the matchup is coming, because then you can have your Void Walker out and deny their rage generation and things.
I would say no. I mean, we could talk about that too as well, but I'm just trying to think about what's most practical. Let's think about in a world PvP situation, you're not going to be skewed that heavily towards just warriors, right? You're not going to have your Void Walker out, and in a BG, you're probably not going to have it out as well. You're going to have the Fell Hunter out. So let's assume Fell Hunter probably, out, and you're going up against a warrior.
Yeah, you might have a bad time there. If I have my Fell Hunter out. Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
No, I interrupted you, my bad. Sorry, man.
Oh, no, you're fine. I mean, you're probably gonna have a bad time. Now, if you're lucky, maybe you're an engineer. Well, I don't know. You know, I always carry magic dust on me. Let's just say that you're carrying consumes on you. Like, I'm always carrying limited invulnerability potions. I'm always carrying free action potions. I'm always carrying magic dust on me. So I'm going to kind of have the advantage anyway because at least have those consumes on me, and I'm an engineer, and a lot of the times, even while I'm farming, I'll keep my gnomish netomatic on me. So I'm always prepared for somebody to hop on me. Now the way I'm going to deal with a warrior is I'm going to try to dead zone him if I can. You know, I'm going to try. But it's probably not going to work.
You're speaking within the range of intercept range, right? This is where we're...
Right, I don't want...
Melee, yeah.
Right, I want to... Yeah, right, I want to try to dead zone. Now, if he hops on me right away, first thing I'm going to do is I'm either going to... and I have my fell hunter out. First thing I'm going to do is I'm either going to free action potion, I'm going to limited invulnerability potion, or I'm going to magic dust. Or I might, I'm going to do one of those things. I'm going to save my coil for a heal, because I know he's going to hit hard. And then, you know, hopefully I have my Hellstone. I have a Hellstone. And then, like, a spellstone's really not going to help you at all in this situation. So actually having a spellstone against warriors is not a good thing. But yeah, my whole game here is just try to dead zone them, keep my dots up, stay alive, and I'm probably going to want to use a limited vulnerability potion. If I'm lucky enough to just dust them right away. And then I could, maybe pump in a soulfire, or I could switch out my pet. You know, you're able to reset if you use a magic dust on them. And then, when you engage after I'd probably open with a soulfire, and then, limited invulnerability potion, and then, but it's so it's situationally different.
The crazy thing is, as you talk about your approach to warrior, it's a very viable approach. Don't get me wrong, absolutely. But it's so crazy that there are many ways to build this car out, right, and find win conditions against any class. And the slightest change, like of having a different pet out, or a different trinket, or maybe a different offhand, can dramatically affect how you're going to approach the matchup, right?
Yeah, it's situationally different. Like, what pet do I have out? What are my trinkets? If I don't have my netomatic, and he's not a gnome, I'm going to equip my netomatic. You never want to use your netomatic against a gnome. I mean, I guess you could, and hopefully they just don't know what they're doing. But usually they're just going to escape out of it. So
another useful item is the gnomish cloaking device, because you can. I don't know if you guys know this, but if you use a gnomish cloaking device, you can get off a soulfire before you'll reappear and things like that. Make a lot of...
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're going to cloaking device, send in your pet right away, and always open with either a shadow bolt or a soulfire, something that's going to hit hard, because if you dot while you're using your cloaking device, it's just going to break your cloaking device. So you always want to open up with something hard.
With that said, also, if you're doing the CC chains, know how fast your dots tick, right? Corruption takes a full 3 seconds before it ticks one time. So when you're doing your CC, when you're DRing out your seduce with your succubus, you can actually cast precast a corruption, then cast the searing pain after, so that it all hits together. Versus Curse of Agony, it's every 2 seconds, right? Curse of Agony, 2 seconds. Corruption, Siphon Life, all the other shit is 3 seconds, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, if I'm fighting a warrior and he gets to jump on me, I'm probably gonna dust him. I'm gonna use a magic dust on him, probably. If he's alone, it's just one-on-one. I'm probably gonna dust him. I'm gonna switch on my trinkets. I might even summon a pet. Now, usually magic dust only lasts 10 seconds. It's about the same as a rock town, which I believe is only 10 seconds. And often I'm running around with my rocket. If my rocket home's off cooldown, I'm running around with it. Like, a huge thing, the biggest thing about warlocks is our utility. Our utility as a warlock paired with consumables and other, engineering items. You have to work all those together, and it's all situationally different, with what you're fighting. So, there is no, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this.
And there's counterplay on the other side too, right? There's just so many moving pieces that come on down. I would say what we can talk about is we can talk in like the closest things that we can find towards like absolutes. So I would say the best pet to have out against the warrior, and this is not even an absolute, but it's probably, I would probably guess, for the Voidwalker overall, you have the Absorb, which is very, very powerful. And also, if you are in like a Soul Link or have access to Master Demonologist, you get the 10% damage mitigation. With that, Succubus is also quite good as well. My vote for best potion versus warrior. It feels scummy when you use it, but the best potion given my playstyle is a Lip, limited vulnerability potion. You're able to just kind of sit there and just take his abuse, like during the most inopportune time for him with the Lip. And if, in my experience, if you Lip against the warrior and it's a 1v1, like you're gonna win that 1v1, but you feel kind of dirty about it afterwards. Now, if you don't have a Lip and let's say you only have swiftness, maybe that changes your strategy and you have to try and kite him around a little bit or whatever. I would say in my opinion, you're generally favored versus a warrior. And the one thing I want to add to this matchup is that if you have Fel Concentration and you're a warlock, even if you don't have Fel Concentration as a warlock, know that warlocks have so much gas in the tank when it comes to using either just a major healing potion, a Hellstone, Voidwalker sack. You can trade really efficiently if you have Siphon Life, whatever it might be. So don't be afraid to not run from the warrior and just tank him in his face and just drain life, trade with him. Actually aggressively play that matchup and trade with him, because unless the warrior is exceptionally geared, has a ton of cooldowns, and this can happen. As soon as you slack on a warrior and you think that they're out of the fight, they can do some retarded damage. I'm not even joking, like ridiculous damage, right? But don't be afraid to just drain tank them in their face, because you're probably going to win that.
Yeah, the pummel, like if you get pummeled from drain tanking a warrior, the pummel isn't really going to bother you too much, and then you can probably just, fill in, get pummeled. Fill in with the Searing Pain. So, yeah, you're definitely favored here. But then again, don't be surprised when a warrior just runs up on you and two-shots you and you're just sitting there trying to farm shards. Because it's going to happen.
It's going to happen a lot more later on, too, because they scale really well.
Yeah.
Warrior with full rage bar opens up on you, gets the charge off, dude. Woo! Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be a
and if
quick
he's
death.
got a healer with him, you better be good at doing some 2v1s.
A warrior with a pocket healer is like is the scariest thing in the game.
It's scary, man.
A warrior with any support.
I also think it's important to remember that a Succubus Charm, a warrior, doesn't have a counter to that versus all your other pets. So when you're talking ideal matchups, Feldoming into a Succubus is probably
Very true.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And they have solutions to everything. Rocket Helm they can get out of, Fears they can get out of, right? So like the Succubus Charm and Fear share the same DR, right? So if you can't get consistent value out of your Fear, you can get it out of the Charm. With that said, there is a 10-second window between Berserker Rage cooldowns that warriors are fearable. I've been hoping and praying for the longest time that someone could make some sort of weak aura to reveal when that gap in time is. But if you think about it, right, it lasts what? It's just 20 seconds and it's like a 30-second cooldown. So there's a 10-second gap where you can be a warrior. But it just, they have all these things that look like what Blood Rage has the same animation as Berserker Rage, right? So like, I don't know, it's hard to know when that is, and it almost just feels not worthwhile even trying to fear them because you don't know that information confidently, at least personally. But something to keep in mind. They also have that Death Wish shit or whatever, right? But I don't know if they have that in PvP spec, right? The what is that called?
I think Fury or Warriors spec into Death Wish, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, my highest soul fire on a private server, my highest soul fire was 7,800, and that is because the warrior Death Wished. So when I see the Death Wish, I think, all right, I'm pumping damage into him as hard as like right now, burn.
Yeah, I got an add-on that audibly notifies you of key abilities being used, and when I hear Recklessness, that's when I start to worry.
Yeah, that's when you want to use your limited vulnerability potion.
Yeah. Now, one thing you can do, I want to talk about this. If you have a Succubus out, you can, in theory, connect with so much damage. Like you can connect with damage across all 3 charms from your succubus without the other player being able to interact with their character. You know, it's hard to execute, but you can do it. And the way you do it is you elements. They, while she's casting the seduction, they get seduced. You can open up with a soul fire into, what is it? It's soul fire into like searing pain, the death coil. Maybe it's just soul fire, death coil. Either way, just think about it this way: you do big damage, followed up into a death coil, right? And then off the death coil, you charm off that, right? You charm off that death coil. So now they still haven't been able to interact with their character at all. They're charmed again, right? And then you open up like with a shadow bolt into grenade, right? Then off the grenade you charm again, and then you open up with more damage. If you're able to do that, you will be so far ahead, right? The key is the grenade there, though. It's the projectile shadow bolt into a grenade off the charm. You do that on that second charm, and then well, you guys get what I'm saying, right? You guys, if that's like,
yeah. Something else to lock somebody down. You can totally 100% to zero somebody with a succubus. And now, this is my personal opinion. I think a succubus is cheese. It's just real. It's kind of cheese, because I mean, just not being able to play your character, just that's kind of sucks to do that to somebody. Then again, you can just 2-shot a succubus. Like if I ever see a succubus, I'm throwing dots on it, right? So, I really don't personally play with the succubus a lot, but I don't know, some people get actually mad about that. You can't talk cross faction here, but I don't know, it's kind of
I don't want to be ones that are bitching about me using the succubus.
Yeah, I wouldn't I don't know, man.
I treat succubus as kind of the same concept as triangle trapping. I expect her to die after the first seduce, but I try and create distance between me and my succubus with her on stay, so that I have that distance to keep kiting after the fact.
Yeah. He's very fragile. That's another thing.
Something else you can use against warriors is the Goblin Mortar. Not a lot of people realize that the stun doesn't break on damage and it doesn't share a cooldown with grenades, so you can chain those together and
I did not know it doesn't break on damage. Thank you so much. That's very, very, very...
Probably have seen my videos. I used to use large rope nets, which aren't in Classic anymore. They used to be farmed in Duskwood off the Murloc netters. Those are no longer in game. Normally, I would say if those were in game, I would say definitely you want to use those. Obviously, not against a gnome, but sadly, they're not in game. So
the Netomatic is an amazing trinket to use versus warrior. Oftentimes, like on the PTR and stuff, I would just start the duel with Netomatic. First thing I actually do, throw it out, see what happens. Based on the outcome of that Netomatic, I'll craft my strategy against that warrior. Another thing too, you're going up against warrior. Get that shadow burn out there. Just throw it out there. Get it on cooldown. If you're gonna go for that line of play and you're gonna start know yourself, you're gonna burn through a couple shards that duel. Get it out there so you can get it ticking fast, and don't get shadow reflected. Don't get your death coil shadow reflected. You kind of have to.
I'm gonna fail this fucking quest, man.
And I guess that applies to all the matchups, right? Because everybody could have that, but.
I don't see any of these fucking boars anywhere.
You want to avoid
50 million people leveling here.
Finally, he starts putting some meaningful damage on you, and then you panic coil, to create space, right? Like, that's the most predictable time to use the death coil. So get a little bit creative with it, try and big brain it. Maybe use it at a time where you're not going to get the health value from the death coil, and that may be a good time to use it just so you can assure yourself you're going to get that control, and then chain something off that.
Yeah, either that or watch your health, and around 1500 health, I'd say throw your coil out to get above their crit.
Yeah, that's a good tip too.
How do you lose to a warrior?
Also, there's an item called Really Sticky Glue. That's a quest item. It's a one-time thing. That'll take care of it. That'll take care of the warrior.
Bro, what is this quest, man?
They fucking hate you, dude. They're using.
Well, there's also the discombobulator ray or light of a loon if you really want.
I used my light of a loon on the warrior. Could you imagine that being a warrior? Oh my god.
Let's go through these from the top to bottom. Starting trinkets and offhand. Let's envision we're in the perfect scenario here. What would your ideal trinkets and offhand be versus warrior?
Net.
I guess I'll go first. No mission,
Bro.
Nanomatic, offhand, furblog pouch.
Gonna fail this quest, man.
Furblog pouch,
There's no boars for me to
Nomad.
kill.
What else?
Too many people here.
Maybe goblin mortar. Also, but, you know, it's
This is
gonna
so
be
stupid.
a combination of those.
Yeah, in a perfect
I like
world,
your
I'd say Tidal Charm and either a Toep or a Net.
There's just.
And I personally prefer extra stats against warriors. I'd rather have the stamina from something like a Fire Runed Grimoire, but that's all
Funny
personal.
one.
Fire Under Bar, yeah.
This is so
I'll feel you on
fucking.
that. In a perfect world, yeah, it'd probably be Tidal Charm and AGM Trinket. I have neither, so not in a perfect world, but that's what I'd probably prefer. I'd probably, if it was me playing a warrior right now, I would probably have Toep and yeah, probably Nanomatic Toep, and then offhand, like you said, Frobog Medicine Pouch for me.
Toep, net, Oni.
Yeah.
Oni offhand.
The good thing about absorbs, right, is against warriors, they don't generate rage when they're hitting this absorb, right? So absorbs are very powerful. It's also a big reason of why you can really snowball against a warrior if you sack the void early. Because here's the thing about warriors, man. Warriors are like a giant aggressive meatball, right? Like they kind of have to ramp up their rage, right? And then they can get procs and stuff starts to really ramp up and go crazy, right? But if you shut them down from the start of getting that rage going, bro, they're kind of potatoes, man. Sometimes like so if you do like a really early Voidwalker sack into like a fell down resummon Void sack again, like the warrior's just not even getting anything going. It's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah, they can't even chew through your sack shield if they don't.
I
have
got
the
a bear.
rage. It's pretty bad.
I mean, a boar.
Yeah.
And then they can't. You're right. If they don't have rage to begin with, they can't berserk rage. So if they don't have any rage, you sacrifice your Voidwalker, or not berserker rage. What am I thinking of? Anyway, they're easy. If they don't have rage, you can fear them
You
a lot.
have your
easier.
Voidwalker out, you're not gonna lose. You should.
Yeah.
You should.
Unless they got a priest with them and they dispel the shield.
True, yeah.
So let's talk about how you lose. How do you lose against a warrior? What are common mistake or scenario that might come to mind?
People with a lot of walks do, they try to fear. They either don't know or what's going on, and they just try to chain.
Fearing
Yeah.
at the wrong time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Getting kicked out of your fear and locked out of your spell tree.
Yeah. Obviously, if they got a healer buddy with them, it's gonna be really hard.
I'd say one thing that comes to mind is trying to run away when you're in no position to run away. Like if the warrior's connected on you and you're at that stage of the matchup and like you've exhausted your control options, know when to not just like kind of run away like an idiot with your back turned taking more damage. Like know when to plant your feet and to start just drain lifing him and just see how it maths out, and don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Getting yourself reflected on a death coil can hurt you a lot.
Oh yeah.
Or just if you're not paying attention.
I'm just not.
Not having, not carrying consumes on you that you should be carrying if you're, a PvP player, which I'm sure everybody watching right now is. Not being prepared, really. I mean,
That backfires.
yeah, your not backfires, that can be really bad. Like if I'm farming, usually because I'm out in the world or going somewhere, whatever, I usually have my rocket helm on me. I usually now if I'm farming, I usually
A Bone Reaper's Edge or a Hand of Rag or something
Dude.
like that. I think you need to be a little more cautious with your spacing.
Absolutely. What's up, Cats in the chat? Good to see you in here, Kitty Helper. One guy also asked Gatso, so you should never try to fear a war. How would you respond to that? Let's say it's a duel, it's a 1v1. Are you even attempting, given your own respective playstyles and specs, to fear a warrior?
If I have full dots up and I'm locked out of my fire tree, I might do it just to bait the Zerker Rage if it's optimal. But for the most part, I think it's a huge damage loss. That's fear is what, like a 3-second cast time? I can't remember off the top.
1.5, yeah.
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 A lot of people try to fear against warriors.
Yo,
So that's a GCD you're missing. You could be burning a Shadow Burn on them or something like that to be pumping more damage out of them and getting them.
And don't be afraid to use that fire tree too. That's something I can improve on, right?
So fucking
Like,
stupid,
if you get
man.
locked out, don't just sit there like a numbnuts. Like friggin' use your fire tree, use your wand, do something. Use it, chuck a grenade. There's stuff that you can do, right? Maybe pop to a bandage.
Yeah,
get a
especially
pick or
with the blue PvP set, that 50% pushback on Searing Pain. A lot of people underestimate Searing Pain, man. It does a lot.
Yep. Absolutely.
Searing Pain's huge.
Fast.
Actually, I want to talk about Searing Pain. Not to interrupt, but say you coil the warrior. Usually, if you coil something, I personally will try to coil and then try to put in a shadow bolt afterwards. Now, if the warrior's quick, you're not going to be able to do that. So coiling into a Searing Pain is probably a better option. And Searing Pain is actually really, really good. So I will coil and then Searing Pain.
Yep.
And the other benefit of spamming Searing Pain is if you get locked out of your fire tree, it's not as big of a deal.
100%.
And they just wasted their.
Yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, obviously, you don't really want to get locked out of shadow, but if you do, just always, keep a mental note that, hey, I got Searing Pain,
Immolate too.
or I got Immolate.
People sleep on Immolate. I mean, you put it on there, but when you're panicking, you want those instant dots. You don't want to cast something, but when you're locked out, throw Immolate up.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right, we talked a lot about Warrior. There was a lot of really good information. I'm really happy with the way this is turning out, guys. I don't know. We got ones in the chat if you guys are having fun right now. I'm fucking having fun. I'm gonna put a one in the chat right now. This is sweet. This is like really.
I failed this quest, man.
Let's move on to
Because
the
the
next one.
DCs
We
and
have
too many
the
players.
Paladin. I don't know. I have a red paladin here swinging a sulfur hand of Ragnaros right now. That's not going to be most likely the paladins are going to be facing. Do we even talk about the duels here? What are we dueling? If we're dueling or 1v1ing a paladin, they're going to be some sort of holy thing, right? Like, do you even duel that? I mean, you can kill them, but what do you guys think?
I laugh at paladins. Literally, I mean, you have to be like the best paladin in the world to kill me. If you stun me, number one, I'm always having my Fell Hunter out against a paladin, and I'm having my Fell Hunter out basically anyway. I get stunned by a paladin, I'm just going to devour magic that off myself, right? I'm going to create distance from myself from the paladin, because a paladin has no kick. Paladin, unless they're an engineer, they have to go way above and beyond, to kill a good warlock. Because their stun is just, I'm just gonna fell down that. I'm not fell down. I'm gonna purge that right off myself, and then I'm creating distance. Obviously, if they bubble, I just run away. And then after that, you can just fear them right in their face. What can they do? So fear them, and now they're gonna start to heal, right? So you keep a Curse of Tongues on them.
Mm-hmm.
When they get low, you just throw a Curse of Tongues on them, or you might just keep a Curse of Tongues on them anyway, and then just keep pumping damage into them. You should not, as a warlock, really have any problems with a paladin.
I would agree with you, bro. I would say pretty favored. We can get into the reasons why. What do you, Brixton, I'm sorry, would you say favored?
Oh, for sure, yeah. Once their bubbles done,
Yeah, definitely
when
favored.
they bubble, you just start bandaging or something. Like, it's just game over. They can't do it.
Yeah,
I never tried.
basically
never tried with the paladin.
A paladin has to spend a lot more gold than you do to win a fight, is what it comes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're a perfect candidate in my experience, in my limited experience, of going for the drain mana line on paladins. Now, throwing up a tongues and not worrying about what is a paladin going to do to you with no mana? Like, he's just going to walk around like a potato. They're very easily, kited. They don't have any on-demand slows as a paladin. They have no ranged attacks, so you can just control them, drain their mana, throw tongues up on them, play that attrition thing. They're not going to be putting out any meaningful damage on you.
Paladins are definitely a support class and not a solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like a rep paladin, I mean, even, you can silence them when they're trying to heal. They have so much work to do against a warlock. I just find them, not really hard to deal with at all.
Yeah. I will say, so going back to the private server days, if you guys remember that dude Drakova,
Adventure is it? I can tell you're bursting with pride over completing the first test, HM. As I told you before, it's no large feat. You should try your hand at boar hunting.
Resist sets,
this
right?
is no
He had a shadow resist set, and you guys know about paladins, they have the auras as well, so they get some further resistance. And here's some reckoning paladin, somehow with full friggin' reckoning stacks and full shadow resist gear. I'm not eliminating the idea that you could lose and get killed by a paladin, you know? But it would have to be something like that. That's how the lost condition I'm thinking of right now.
Yeah, and then if you have prior knowledge of that, you can just curse a shadow on them, and it's still.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I don't do if I'm fighting a paladin is I don't send my pet on a paladin. I usually, or if I do and I see them spamming sit, I pull my pet back because they're just gonna try to wreck bomb you. So always, like, if you're fighting a paladin and you send your pet in and you see them spamming sit, they're just building up wreck bombs. So normally what I do is I don't send my pet in on them. And also going back to warriors, I usually don't send my pet in on them because I don't want them to generate rage, right?
Yeah.
I don't have a
There's someone
Yeah, the
asking
only time
about...
I send a pet out is when pushback is going to benefit me.
Someone's asking about drain mana. It's something that I like. My favorite hunter ability. I love taking people's mana. So much fun. Mana burn. You guys have an opinion on mana drain?
Well, I'll use it on a paladin. If I see the paladin if he's got full mana, probably not. But no matter what, I'm gonna toss a Curse of Tongues on him. Now, like, this is like a group versus group scenario. If he's got low mana, I'm Curse of Tongues. I'm gonna start draining his mana. If he doesn't, I'm probably just gonna Curse of Tongues on him and then fear him. Try to bait out the bubble. If you can get that bubble, after the bubble goes down, just switch the paladin, kill him. But I'm always going to try to control the paladin, silence him, Curse of Tongues, fear, in group fights. In 1v1 scenarios, again, I'm probably always going to use the Curse of Tongues on him, and then I'm going to dispel myself as soon as he stuns me, and then I'm just going to fear him right in his face, and then he's going to have to bubble. It's either get feared, fire away, or bubble and use your bubble now and try to stay on top of me. So, I mean, a paladin can kill you. It's not like it's impossible, but it's rare. They have to go above.
I would say that it shouldn't happen.
It's not really shouldn't happen.
Speaking from equally geared terms, and the paladin has an uphill battle against the warlock. They have to outplay the warlock, and the warlock controls the fight.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And here's my thing about drain mana. I think if you're going up against a mana user, except for Druid, it doesn't really matter with Druid because they can just go form. All I need is just enough mana to go form, and then it'll cancel your thing. I'm never gonna start a 1v1 engagement against someone with mana drain, like when they're at full mana. Like it just doesn't do that much to drain mana, right? Like, and oftentimes, the people you're doing that against are gonna be like priests and paladins, people that can convert that mana into health. So, applying damage in a more efficient way you're kind of doing the same thing. You're draining their mana through damage, just not through draining their mana. So here's the thing. You trade with the people. You trade with the paladin. You trade with the shadow priest, and they're exchanging cooldowns with you. You're going back and forth. You wait for that moment for that class to overextend their resources, and they drop down to maybe 35-40% mana, right? At that point, the light switch flips. You can switch your line of play completely from the damage to the total control. You throw up a different curse. You just position yourself differently, and you start draining their mana. That's the most common use case I have for drain mana personally.
So for me, with channeled spells, if the class I'm facing has some kind of silence or kick, then I'm really wary of that, because channeled spells are just asking to get kicked. But if you've gotten them to burn that through like Searing Pain Spam or something like that, and they're at about 20% mana, then I'd say it's worth channeling the drain mana 100.
Yeah, drain mana.
Yeah, got to him, chat's asking to do bubble. They bubble use heal. Get some range on him.
It's too far away. I don't have a target.
Yeah,
I guess
it's dependent on your spec.
Bubble. if they offensively bubble because they see you casting fear and they want, it's gonna be harder to get away from them. You can die to a paladin. Don't get me wrong. There's gonna be a paladin. Once upon a time, there will be a paladin that's just gonna maybe outplay you. You don't have X cooldowns. You don't have this, and they do. It's very possible.
Certainly. Another thing you could do too, as well, knowing that they don't have any really movement speed. They don't really have any movement speed increase, and they don't have no on-demand slow. If they're running at you in bubble offensively or something, you could swiftness potion and just run away. Like you could nifty stopwatch and run away. I love nifty stopwatch as a warlock.
Yeah, I think the best thing paladins have is like a 15% movement speed buff as red. Something.
Yeah, that's what is it? People are gonna know, is it 8% or is it 4% each talent point pursuit of justice? It ends up being like, I think it's like 8% movement speed.
There's also a sword out of Stratholme that gives you a movement speed increase. It's a two-handed sword. It's an epic. One of my guildies got it, and it gives you 8% movement speed, I think. So recognizing that sword would be.
Okay. Good to know. All right, so I think there's not a whole lot to go through here for Paladin. I don't think we could go through Trinkets and offense, but I think that's just an interesting time to keep going. Druid is the next one we have up right now. What do you guys think? Favored or unfavored?
I haven't struggled with any Druid that I fought except for Swifty sometime.
I don't really. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. The only problem I can have with the Druid is if they're moonfire spamming, like outranging me, running back and forth into range, moonfire spam, blah blah blah. That can be usually I'm just gonna try to disengage. That can be really annoying. I don't like Druids. Their play style. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't ever want to play like that. That's pretty much the only way a Druid's really gonna annoy me. Again, a Druid doesn't have anything. They have a bash. That's it. Once their bash is done, usually, a charge bash. It seems like that's what Druids always want to do. As soon as the Druid's bash is gone, what's he got? Just fear him. You can just fear him right in his face.
Pummel.
And then, I'm going to keep a curse of tongues on them, even though they're probably going to decurse. I'm going to keep them feared, and I'm going to pump damage into them. I'm almost going to treat them the same way I would a paladin, really. I'm going to try to fear them and just pump damage into them. But, it's a lot easier for them to run away and max range you, so they're just annoying, if anything. For me to fight, that's about it.
One huge thing when fighting Druids is you have to realize that your Fell Hunter can rip off their high impact hots, and that they're very susceptible to fear. If you keep them cleaned up and you have your Fell Hunter out, it is very difficult for the Druid to win. With regard to the Moonfire spam, if you have your spell stones available and stuff like that, I don't know if they're going to be able to outpress you. You'll be able to stabilize against a Druid. The other thing about Druids is that they're not casting Moonfire. Swapping into form is kind of expensive for them, right? So if they're constantly swapping in and out of form and stuff, they're going to go.
The Moors gave you some trouble.
I mean, that's really the case with Feral. If you're trying to do a Feral Druid, they pop out of form, they can cast one thing, and then go back into form.
You managed to kill.
Here's how I lose the Druids in my limited experience fighting, because it's hard to get 1v1s and duels up against Druids. For some reason, they're not very duel oriented. Is when you're going up against a Wrestler Druid. And you're expending resources, pumping damage into them, but not being cognizant of actively life tapping, right? So you're just spending mana, trying to create all this tempo and pressure. But if that Druid is able to stabilize for whatever reason off of your pressure and go back into bear form with a full health bar, and you're now down to 20% health, you're in a dangerous situation at that point, because they will actually outlast you. And when you tap, you kind of deal a good amount of damage to yourself. And if you start tapping and the Druid's up in your face, they can actually out attrition you as a Druid. And I think oftentimes as a Druid, that is your win condition, to out attrition the other person going in and out of form.
It's possible they do that. I mean, that's possible. If you're PvPing, you should be using life tap rank 3 and life tap or 3 or 4. I personally use 3, and that doesn't give me a whole lot of mana. but in situations like, well, I'm sure we'll bring up hunters here in a minute. Like a viper sting, we're always getting viper stings. Well, now I'm not life tapping myself to death, so you know, just be careful that you don't want to life tap yourself to death. But man, I mean, like I said before, like druids, they're just annoying to me. They're running in and out of my range. Like, I mean, I guess I can kind of appreciate the play, you know, but it's just kind of a little bit. They're just so annoying. But that's all they're gonna do to me is annoy me.
Yeah,
Unless
yeah,
I'm out to die.
You're pretty good usually.
The only way like I'm gonna die to one is, you know, I'm about to die, and then you know they just jump on me and manage to kill me, gank me, but that's about it.
Yeah, for me, druids are basically a good druid is going to be just a longer fight and a battle of mana, but they don't really have an answer to fear. So
it's true. Yeah, they struggle with the fear big time. Another thing I would recommend to druid players is to don't feel compelled to keep swapping in and out of forms. Like, it really is a battle of attrition oftentimes. So like, stay in form and get that passive mana regeneration, you know, for longer before you swap in and out trying to out finesse me. Just try to play that big picture game and take some damage. Don't be afraid to take some damage if it's going to preserve your mana and you're going to get a few more spirit-based, you know, spirit takes off. As long as you feel confident you can recover from that. Another thing, which is always a lost condition against anyone, really against anyone, is if they rocket helm your pet. That's one thing. If you're a non-warlock right now and you're listening to this, if you can rocket helm the pet, that is huge. You know, there's a cooldown associated with that, right? But rocket helming the pet, especially the Fell Hunter, is a good way to have a really good chance of killing that warlock, especially if it lasts the full duration. There's nothing you can do as a warlock to get your pet.
Yeah, that's true. Now
I think the only answer to a rocket helm pet is a fell dom into another pet, but you can't summon the same pet that you had out, or it'll keep it deep.
That's true. Actually, that's true. There is a solution. I just learned something from this. Thank you so much. That's true. That's actually true.
I believe it's still only going to be 10 seconds, though. But still, it's 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's 10 seconds on pets or if it's the full, what is it, 30 seconds or something in PvP.
I think
If it's full 30 seconds, that's really, I don't know. I'm going to have somebody rocket home my pet later on today.
And that's another tip. People that are facing Soul Link warlocks is you can rocket helm our pet and then kite, and if the warlock's dumb enough to chase, they're going to lose that Soul Link.
Yeah, the pet management is huge. Never ever do that.
This guy's saying if the warlock is SL, you can't rocket helm the pet. Why couldn't you rocket helm the pet?
No, I said you can rocket helm the pet, and then you kite the warlock away from their pet so they lose their Soul Link.
Oh yeah. No, I'm saying a guy in chat. No, I 100% agree with you. He's just saying if the warlock is SL, you can't rocket helm the pet. I wonder why he's saying that. You can. You can definitely rocket helm the pet, but maybe he's talking about what you said, the counterplay of fell dom into another pet. It's got to be that, right?
Well, if that's a good point actually, because if you rocket helm my pet and I take damage and then my pet takes damage, wouldn't that break the rocket helm? Now, really, honestly, this I never. Now that I'm thinking about it, really had too many people rocket helm my pet. Not really. Almost.
I've had it happen against another warlock that used it to. Then he fear kited me, and then he took advantage of banishing my pet while I was fear.
Okay, I get it now. I get it now. It's a split damage. Okay, I now I'm realizing why this happened, because in our duel tournaments we banned SL, right? So I was a weird spec where I had Siphon Life instead of SL. I was pretty much an SL spec, just with no Soul Link. I had Siphon Life instead. And that's why, right? No, I 100% agree with you. My bad. Yeah, if you know the SL is gonna break as soon as they start applying damage to you, the pet's gonna take it, right? But if you are not SL, big play. That's a big play. Yep.
Yeah, it's important to recognize what spec the warlock is if you can.
Which can be hard.
Also, if you get rocket helmed, maybe some guys didn't know that. If you get rocket helmed, you remove it with your Foul Hunter. You just purge it off yourself.
Right. Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
And if you get magic dust in your face when you're undead, you just will the Forsaken out.
I need it.
This is true. Another thing against Will the Forsaken in general, as just an overarching tip, you fear someone, they would have. you can immediately death coil them, and the death coil isn't considered a fear; it's a horror, right? So like, even though they still have that 3 seconds of the WODUF, that coil will connect with them instantly, and then you can do a fear off that, or you grenade or whatever. Just keep it in mind. That's one thing I didn't know that for a while. That I was hesitant to coil right after they WODUF, because that's the worst thing ever. If you waste your coil as a warlock, you're losing like a massive tempo swing. But you can. So as soon as they WOD up, just follow it up with a coil, and get pain train rolling.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, burn the undead's World of Forsaken. Definitely want to do that. I mean, especially if you think it's going to be a somewhat long fight.
Yeah, and if you're opposed to add-ons, then read your combat log and recognize that they've popped it. You know.
Yep. So I'm looking at starting trinkets and offhands against a druid if you're fighting one. I have to say one good point that I learned from Swifty, because Swifty was fighting in one of the dual tournaments, Grix, and you know, if someone is like bandaging, right, and you're a druid and you're from range, what do you try to do to stop them if they're bandaging? You moonfire them, right? You freaking moonfire them. If you spellstone bandage, like they can't interrupt your bandage.
Big brain.
So they're, you know, if you have a moonfire ticking on you, right, it doesn't matter. If they're feared off into oblivion, you can spellstone and just fully bandage yourself up. So spellstone is a consideration here, I will say.
That's dirty.
Yeah.
That's how you get.
Yeah.
Spellstone bandage. It's an absorb, baby. It's an absorb. So that's a trinket option. I'm just thinking of attrition type stuff. Is there anything interesting here with trinkets or offhands versus druid?
My offhand's always going to be a spellstone against a druid. Trinkets, I mean, you don't want to net a druid. It's kind of useless.
I don't have money.
Because they could just shapeshift out of it. So I guess for trinkets, you know, maybe I would probably prefer on-use damage trinket. You know, if I have two, you know, I can't think of. I mean, all right, if I had the yeah, Toeb. If I had
Tidal would be huge if you had that.
Yeah, Tidal Charm. I mean, if I had Tidal Charm,
I think we should leave Tidal Charm out of the discussion from now on, because it's going to be pissed in every situation.
Yeah, it's true. Warlocks don't have an on-demand stun, right? Other than Inferno. My bad. Inferno. Infernal is sick. It's actually sick, but other than Inferno.
I forget about that for a lot of times, to be honest.
Yo, Infernal is sick though. Like, it actually is. If you rocket helm into like a soul max range Soulfire Infernal, you can do some flashy shit as a warlock, dude. It's pretty sweet. One thing I will say, against matchups where you're a warlock and you're fighting someone and you know that it's not a really high tempo matchup and you're not just gonna get friggin' killed within a matter of a few critical seconds, and you know you're playing the long game, one thing that I would recommend you do is start with the Oni book in your offhand, right? The Ancient Cornerstone Grimoire. Pop that skeleton, then throw on the Spellstone, whatever, because you know that it's highly unlikely the druid's going to be able to pressure you into a situation where you need that Spellstone in that next 30 seconds. So pop that guy. That freaking skeleton is a big slapper. He is no joke. And
relentless.
Yeah, and it's something that you should keep in mind.
Yeah, or you could pop a Spellstone early to mind game him into thinking you use your only Spellstone and swap into another Spellstone. You know, there's a lot of stuff you could do against it.
Absolutely. All right.
For me, in a trinket, it's going to be a Goblin Mortar against the Druid.
You have to be interested in this mortar.
Yeah,
it's a really strong trinket.
Yeah, it is.
It's the reason I went Goblin Engineering, is because you can reload it really cheap. And 4-second AoE stun that crits for as much as a thorium grenade crits for. It's just a
that was one of the first things I crafted when Classic came out. I had my rocket helmet like level 40 or something. I crafted all the mortar and stuff, and I didn't have any success with it. But I think I was just using it wrong, man. I didn't know all this stuff about it. Right? I'm gonna give it another shot. Thanks to you, Namtar. I'm actually hyped for it.
If you're going to like DM North and you're with a group and you see a group of people stacked up behind it, and you have one guy open the door and open with a mortar, it's devastating.
Yeah, and people might think, hey, it's got limited charges. I don't know about that. I'm already broke. You know, it doesn't take that much to refill. I think you just need like 1 bar or something like that.
It's
and then
1 mithril bar and 3 solid blasting powder, I think, maybe 2 solid blasting.
it's nothing, bro. It's like a quarter of a Maraudon run right there. Like, so don't even worry about the charges too much. About replacing it. It takes a little time, right? But all right, let's move on to the next one. We have Hunter. How do you guys? What do you guys think about Hunter? About the matchup?
A really, really good hunter. They might serve it up to you. I mean, they might. BM hunters, I personally find a little bit harder to deal because of the constant pushback, the pet hitting so hard. I don't believe you can now. If the pet's enraged, you can't fear it. The Viper sting, like usually I'm gonna have more problems versus a BM hunter, but I'm really not gonna have too many problems.
Yeah, and is that the PvP spec for them?
Well, I mean, usually they're gonna be BM or they're gonna be what's the other spec? Marksmanship. Usually it's marksmanship I run into.
Yeah, I run into very few BM hunters right now. It might be more common in BGs though, because it is a really strong.
It is pretty strong. Now, like one of the things I'm always doing is it's rank 3 life tap or maybe rank 4. I don't want to tap myself to death against a hunter because a smart hunter is going to Viper sting you. You know, now if there's serpent stinging you, you can really just laugh at that and just, you know, the serpent stinging really it isn't going to be too much of a problem, but it's going to be the constant mana drain on you. But if you don't have any mana, that's fine because you can just rank 3 life tap, get a dot up rank 3, you know. So it's really watching your mana and your health against a hunter.
Yeah, for me, hunters are one of the, at least in this phase, they pump damage, man, and their opening volley pushback is insane. So, and then a really good hunter is going to keep you at 41 yards of Viper Sting until you're But what I try and do, if I see a hunter targeting me, I'm immediately fell bombing into a Void Walker if I don't have one out, sacking my Void Walker and fearing that hunter like as fast as I can.
Yeah, well, another thing is, I actually, personally, I'm always going to have my Fell Hunter out against a hunter because they're probably going to scatter trap you. As soon as that trap's up, bam, just dispel that right off yourself. And then, you know, now they're close. Now you can dead zone them.
Dude, that is actually so sick. I have to confess, I've never done that because I always have a different That's actually insane.
You gotta, like, I always am using my Fell Hunter because I don't know if you guys saw Voivod 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that one. Fell Hunter is crazy against Hunter.
Yeah, they can't trap you. Just dispel, goodbye. And now, since they scatter, trap, feign death, you know, now they're right there. Now they're just going to have to be wing clicking you. I mean, personally, the problems I'm going to have are going to be the BM Hunter, probably. Now, this happened to me. This was on a private server. I didn't know this was even possible. That, okay, a BM Hunter just managed to find me, send in his pet, like, from, like, so far away. And I was like, where is this dude? And I found him. I couldn't get to him though because I kept having his pet on me and so I was like, all right. So I ran into this is an AB. I ran into like the main starting room or whatever. I kept killing his pet over and over and over and over, and I'm thinking, well, dude, his pet's gonna get mad. Now, and on private servers in PvP, their pets don't get mad and they won't run away. But yeah, he just kept sending his pet in. There's literally nothing I could do about that. So that's I don't know if that's the same way it is in Classic though.
I struggled sometimes with hunters until I started using it.
So you started using what?
Fell Hunter.
Oh.
And it became like way easier.
interesting from a hunter
just rushed
perspective,
him.
because I've primarily, like, I was always most frustrated by Voidwalker's double sack when I was playing Warlocks. I just felt like there was so much gas, but it's interesting. I see what you mean here.
Yeah, for me, hunters, at least right now, they have so much pushback and open burst that I would rather sack a Voidwalker and try and get the hunter CC'd than deal with their pet. But I can understand wanting to have a Fell Hunter out.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm playing solely, actually, yeah. No matter what, I'm probably gonna want the Fell Hunter, especially if I'm playing Soul Link, because I mean I'm still very tanky. It's always gonna happen. The scatter trap, you break that, you're right there in the range of dead zoning, So that's my personal take on it. But the Faldam sacrifice is also good too.
Yeah, another thing, the macro for Scatter Trap is a macro you have to spam. Most hunters just do it by muscle memory, and if you pop a Freeze Reflector, you're immune to that Frost Trap.
Oh yeah, that's another huge one. The one thing I will say versus Hunter that makes it, I still think it's favored versus Hunter, at least here for my playstyle, is you can just coil into fear on them and then like chase down that fear. This is another just broad overarching tip when you're fearing targets. Try to chain another fear off of it. Like, like really try to not give them even a second to interact with their character. As soon as my fear, I throw like maybe 2 dots on, 3 dots maybe, I'm already trying to get as close as possible so I can get within range to get that next fear connection on it and get full value from your fear DR. It just puts you further and further ahead so that you can just train tank the rest of the way if need be. But you can coil into a fear on hunters and their PvP trinket does not break fear, right? So that is what you were trying to do.
I was gonna say on Hunter, it's one of the few fights where I will openly use a death coil even though I don't need the health to get into a fear. And it's really, I think Hunter versus Warlock comes down to whoever gets the opener first is gonna win the fight.
Rock and Helm the pet too. Another one you can just big.
Yeah, there's also an engineering item called Flash Bomb that fears pets. It'll fear druids as well, but it's got a force.
Holy shit, that's actually crazy.
Yeah, we've totally forgot that. I've totally forgot about that. Flash bombs against druids when they're in their beast form. Flash bombs against hunter. That's a great point to bring up. Yep.
Yo, that's
I usually try to fear the pet. Like I'll try to fear the pet. And especially if the hunter's just like trying to line of sight me and he's just like, sending his pet in.
Yeah, for me, that's what I originally did against hunters, but a full T1 hunter right now does so much damage with their crits, especially if they get their aim shot off, that I just I focus the hunter first and deal with the pet's push. Like, I think
if I see the
just overrated.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
No, it's all good.
Casting aim shot on me, I'm gonna coil them. I'm gonna stop them from casting aim shot. The coil fear, definitely. I mean,
I really wish we had 40-yard nameplates.
Yeah.
I asked one of a top hunter guy, and he said the BG Speckers MM survival.
I totally forgot about Flash Bomb, dude. How am I still learning about this game? This is so sick.
I actually need to make some. I still need my reflector trinkets. I've been slacking so much in game lately.
It's all good. Kelwolf, thank you very much for the Twitch Prime, bro. Appreciate it, Kelwolf.
But I don't think the Warlocks have a very good counter to BM hunters. I think their pet's just gonna soul you even if you CC down.
Yeah.
They're hard. They're harder to deal with.
You shouldn't be running to a lot of BM hunters, I heard. Yeah, you can
But
marksman survival. They should.
Yeah, hunters definitely become a lot more manageable as time goes on, though. Their gear doesn't scale as well. Right now, they're just rough to...
I think if I was playing Hunter right now, I would definitely get the Intim and Scatter build where you can, you're going to miss out on Beastia Wrath, but it'll give you more control, especially with all this, batching and making the whole Feign Death Trap, Scatter Feign Death Trap combo a little bit harder to execute and stuff. I would want more control, so I don't know if I'd get Beastia Wrath, but as far as lost conditions versus a Hunter, we touched on it. They open up on you from absolute max range, send the pet in, get the Viper's thing ticking, right? And they're just able to play keep away because they're open under the best possible conditions to your...
Yeah, and unless you have like rocket boots equipped or something, you're not gonna beat a hunter that knows how to hit that 41-yard sweet spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
You're on a clock, right?
No,
is that fair to say versus a Hunter? You're on a clock with the Viper's thing?
Yeah, I would honestly say the matchup's probably even and comes down to whoever has more game knowledge. But
Can you fail Hunter?
Hunter's slightly.
No, it's a poison. You need you can use Curzon Jungle Remedy though to take it off. Yeah.
Well, those fucking those poison.
Well, Viper's thing's spammable, so it's kind of hard. You could use a Jungle Remedy, and then there's also poison
potion,
which are spammable. But I mean, that's gonna be expensive to spam that. You could do that, but another side note is I'm dotting the pet because I want to proc shadow. I want to proc Nightfall, right? Or I want to just. I'm always gonna dot the pet.
Yeah. Good to know. All good tips. All right, let's move on to the next one. The mirror match. This is this is my weakest matchup by far for me. It's something that I don't know. I still hold my own, but it's something that I'm very excited to discuss about you guys. Favorite or unfavorite, I guess, would pertain to what spec you are versus another spec. What spec do you think would be the best versus fighting another warlock?
Like matching specs?
I don't know, man. I mean, how do we unpack the mirror matchup here?
I think the obvious answer is going to be Soul Link, Shadow Burn, just for sustain, because Warlock versus Warlock comes down to a battle of GCDs, I think.
Who's doing what at the right time, spell stuff?
I would agree.
Right.
Bell Hunter out.
I think SM Ruin would be the second best, but I would have to say Soul Link is probably the best spec to verse another Warlock at.
There's a couple more pieces that get added to the equation. He's been used. So, your Shadow Absorb. What is it? Shadow Ward.
Yeah.
What it's called? Shadow Ward, right?
Yeah.
So you have that, and you also have Banish. These are two new abilities that come into the fray. With Warlock, it's important to keep just continuously. I feel like if I were to look back on the dual link tournaments we've done, I feel like there's a few I could tighten it up with getting that Shadow Absorb up, but you're really trying to attrition out the other guy as much as possible. Pull that up. There's some RNG with it though too, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean like a Soul Link. Yeah, a Soul Link Warlock that has their 5-piece, you're kind of just playing roulette and trying to banish their pet, even if you have Curse of Shadows up on it. But I think that's the only way SM Ruin is beating a Soul Link Warlock is if they banish the pet before they get burned down. I think those are the two matchups you could discuss. I don't think Conflag really has a place in that fight.
Yeah, it's true.
And they said in the chat the difference is, are you both undead or is one undead and one or?
Undead definitely has the edge, man. I know about dueling Funky Pot.
I'm still recharging.
He's just a better player, but no. Yeah, so Pet, it's a battle of Fell Hunters. You're trying to banish. I really maybe more than I should value controlling the Pet. I really try to connect with the banish, and I will try to do the most high tempo play that allows me to get a banish off and control the Pet, and I will sometimes pre-cast the banish and just try and keep that banish going on that pet as much as possible.
Me personally, I'm putting a Curse of Shadows up before I go for the banish, and if I notice it's resisting more than 2 times, I kind of abandon the idea of it. Get back into burning.
Yeah, you want a Curse of Shadows before you banish, because you're probably going to get it. If I'm fighting a Soul Link Warlock, I need to banish. It's that, or I have to kill the pet. It's because Soul Link's just so hard to deal with, you know, as anything, you know, no matter what you are fighting a Soul Link Warlock. So the way we're going to get rid of Soul Link is by banishing the pet or killing the pet. So that's what I'm going to probably try to do, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of other factors that come into, like if you have your rocket helm up or a Gnomish cloaking device and you can get it off without dots on you, then you can get a fear bomb in on the Warlock and the pet to buy yourself more.
It depends on what they're using for a pet. If they're using Succubus, I'm just going to dot the Succubus. I'm going to focus on the Warlock because it's going to die quick. You got to be careful, like if they're using a Fell Hunter, because you can't really get away with rocket helming them. They're just gonna, you know, purge it off themselves. Also, you can get locked while trying to banish. So it's, you know, it's kind of a toss-up. I would, you know, if it's a dueling situation, you know, and you're both Soul Link, you know, it's really just going to come down to, you know, skill, really, or, you know, your cooldowns, or I don't know if people are, you know, whatever consumes or utility that you can use, really. But yeah, Soul Link's just so hard to deal with, you know, so.
Yeah, it's hard to know whether you want to offensively dispel or defensively dispel with the Fell Hunter as well. It's tough. I try to defensively dispel to try and give myself the best shot of getting out of fears with because the fear game is big, right? And that's another RNG factor. Sometimes you'll just fear the other guy and it'll just freaking last forever, and they're just so far behind. That'll happen to you as well, and it just sucks. But you just gotta.
I mean, I could think of situations where if you were patient, you could like Rocket Helm the pet, then Death Coil the Warlock into like a Goblin Mortar, into a Tidal Charm, into a Fear while you're spending your GCDs on Curse of Shadows and shit like that. But that's pretty far-fetched situations.
That's 100% what I usually do, man. I Rocket Helm the pet and just try and generate as much tempo into controlling that pet. I'll do whatever it takes, man, to keep that pet under control. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you have to. Yeah, Rocket Helming the pet. But then again, if they're Soul Link, like we were talking about earlier, you're gonna break that. Break that Rocket Helm. So.
Well, something you can do, and I don't know if it would work, but spell batching works with the Rocket Helm, so you can precast a Death Coil as you use Rocket Helm, and it doesn't break the Rocket Helm when the Death Coil connects for whatever reason. I can share a video with you guys on how all that works, but I haven't tested it in game, so I don't know if it would break the pet or not.
Murderer, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub, bro. 2 months in a row. Really appreciate you, bro. Good to see you in here. Big Murder. Starting trinkets and offhands. Gotta have Reflector in there, right? Shadow Reflector, big plays. Very important. Offhand Spellstone. Multiple ranks of Spellstone, dude. And you wanna... When's the best time to pop that Spellstone too, man? Like, once you wait for...
I think if it's in a duel, you pop your first Spellstone as the duel is starting, but if it's in an open world, you save that Spellstone until you're low on...
I'm probably going to pop my Spellstone when I have all their dots on. I probably am not going to open with the Spellstone because that can be purged. So, you know, I probably am going to wait till they have all their dots on me, then I'm going to Spellstone it all off. And then I'm going to hopefully try to do it again. It's, you know, the mirror match is difficult, really. It all has to do with what spec you are, what spec they are, and just outplaying each other, you know.
Well, let's think this through, the merits of offensively or defensively dispelling with your fighting in the mirror matchup. I have a thought right now as I'm looking at some of the feedback in the chat. People say you can devour Spellstone as well. That is true. So I usually defensively dispel, but I'm starting to think that I'm an idiot. Because you're always going to have multiple dots on you. You're going to roll the dice and see if you can get out of that fear, right? And it's you're always going to be able to reapply the dots, right? Whereas opposed to if you offensively dispel, hopefully you can strip them down to the point that, like, you know, maybe by the time that second devour or third devour comes up in the Spellstone, you can take it off reliably. What am I missing?
Well, something else to keep in mind too is if they have the same knowledge as you can be spamming like rank 1 corruption on them to waste their devour and things like that.
Yeah, you could. That's a little like next level. I mean, I'm personally, because I'm undead, so I got Boulder Forsaken. Now, if I use my Boulder Forsaken, now I might think, I might want to save this devour for a fear if they get it off. But I'm gonna try to save my my silence, my spell lock for when they're casting fear, or if for some reason they're draining life on me, I'm automatically gonna spell lock them. I want to lock them out of shadow, right? Because I don't want to get feared.
It's actually so tough.
Another thing is, and I also, if I see the Shadow Ward, I'm going to try to power match with that. And another thing is, Searing Pain and Immolate is going to, hurt the warlock.
Yeah, the pushback from Searing Pain is pretty gnarly.
Yeah. So, I mean, don't ignore Searing Pain and Immolate, because when you see a Shadow Ward, now you can mask a Shadow Ward with a Shadow Reflector. You can actually make a macro, or you could just be really quick about it, and then it would all just be one. It would look like you're Shadow Warding, but really you're Shadow Warding and reflecting.
Right. Yeah, that's a big brain play. I actually have not done that yet, but I need to start factoring
Something
that
else I like. I personally like to. I have rank 1 Curse of Wreck and rank 1 Corruption bound, and if I see a Shadow Reflector go up, I cast both immediately.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea. That's for sure.
So there really, maybe there is no answer here. What's up, Leaks Pickles? Thank you very much for the Twitch Prime sub, bro. Good to see you in here, man. Whether you offensively or defensively dispel, because there's merits of defensively dispelling in the sense that you can wipe the slate clean with the spellstone and sort of give yourself a better shot at dispelling something huge. Versus offensively, dude, this is huge though. I mean, what do you got? What is your gut?
I think they're 50-50. You got to be paying attention to what's going on in the fight and know what you're supposed to be doing. If they're Fell Hunters, Devour is off cooldown, then maybe it's better to defensively, purge, and if it's on cooldown or off cooldown, then maybe it's better to offensively.
Me personally, I'm gonna offensive dispel more than I am defensive. That is again because I'm undead. Now, if like I said before, if I use Wilder Forsaken, I know I don't have any other fear break. I might back off. But I'm gonna try to purge their Shadow Ward. I'm gonna try to purge even their buff, their demon armor. I'm gonna try to purge for sure the Spellstone if they use it. So me personally, I'm gonna push the offense and then just try to push the damage in there.
Another thing too, the blanket CS effect of the Fell Hunter, you can dispel that as well, right? So it's like there's so much, man. I don't know if the chat feels a certain way. Offensive or defensive dispel, you just have to make a decision.
Same can be said for mages. You could get counterspelled by a mage. You could dispel that off your.
Yeah,
so.
It is true.
I'm probably just gonna eat it though. I don't know, unless I get totally locked out of School of Magic. Then I might, But I mean, it depends. It depends on what happens when. But usually, I'm gonna try to push the offense.
Yeah.
And that's why I value banishing the pet so highly too, is because you remove that from the equation and you've got a huge advantage.
Yep. Meaning two
somebody in chat wanted to know if you can dispel Soul Link with your Fell Hunter. No, you cannot. But you could on private servers. But no, you cannot on Classic. So, otherwise, I would say you want to get rid of Soul Link with your Fell Hunter, but you can't.
Yeah, and as far as I know, the range on Soul Link is infinite, so you would have to banish the pet and then kite the Warlock far enough for their pet to be.
Yeah, which, I mean, no good Warlock should ever let their pet despawn.
Now here's another question for you, too. Think about this.
Hey! You've done the movement a great
when I fight another
service,
Warlock, and we both have Fell Hunters
Frogs and leper gnomes infested
I have the Fell
Nobody
Hunter
will
trying
soon
to
feel the
attack the
brunt of
Warlock,
a gnomish
right?
air
That just
assault.
makes sense. There's no downside. Pushback.
Right, yeah, you want to, give them some pushback.
Right, I mean...
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes you get used to the idea of either parking your Fell Hunter off in a weird location so he doesn't get fear bombed, or maybe it's not advantageous to hit the warrior and give him more rage, or the paladin, or whatever. But in this matchup, you'd want to have the pet attacking.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if you have your 5Ps.
Yep. Throw the trash buffs up on yourself as well, right? The detect invisibility, the underwater breathing. You want to throw that stuff up too. If you have noggin fogger, whatever you got, man, whatever you got, throw it up.
I even do it on my pet. I believe in trash buff my pet. I don't know why. Why I used to do this was because Soul Link on private servers used to be dispellable, and you would target the the pet and then dispel the pet and get rid of Soul Link. That's not the case now. But still, I still do that. I don't know why, but I guess just to do it. But you don't have to.
Okay. All right, let's move on. So next one up is the Mage. We have 4 more to go. We're trying to make some good progress through these. So Mage, how do you guys feel about the matchup? Favored? Not favored? Fair?
Favored.
I'd say it's close to even, but I think Warlock is slightly favored. Yeah, against an undead mage as alliance, it becomes more problem.
Well, yeah, for sure. If you're fighting undead as alliance, it would definitely be a problem. I would say that we're favored by a lot. I personally, number one, if we're Soul Link, we're way beyond favored. We have a lot of things we can do here. We have Spell Zone, absolutely huge. We also shouldn't be sheepable. If you can spell lock to stop the sheep. Now, if you spell lock a mage when they're casting sheep, that locks them out of arcane. Okay, not a lot of mages are going to be like some people in the CDL that are just going to run up in your face and that's typically not going to happen. And also sheep dispelled right off yourself. And then you can always use your Skull of Impending Doom. So you really shouldn't be getting sheep too much. And you should always you should lock the mage. I try to go for Frost, but also I don't want to get sheep, so...
Yeah, I'm not sure if you're aware, but you can also batch a Demonic Rune to break...
Yeah, that's another thing. That's another thing that wasn't known in private servers, but with spell batching. Yep. Actually, I haven't tested this. Somebody said that you could spell batch a life tap. I'll have to see if that's a thing. I'll have to see if that's a thing. If you can life tap and then break sheep. If that is, then
So, yeah, I think we're favored as well. My favorite opener against the mage, where I feel like it's really nice. I think maybe I overdo it with the blanket silences, but I like to use the blanket silence and get 100% value from it in a control setting that I can 100% guarantee. So when I fight a mage, I will often blanket silence into a fear right off the bat. If they're undead, they're gonna WOTF, unfortunately. You coil them off that, get them into fear. You want them to aggressively block and predict them to aggressively block, because a good mage is just gonna be blocking, block all day, every day. And you want to precast fears off the block, do everything you can, get them to use those blocks. And then they're going to try and set up a shatter on you, right? And Nova you, whatever. They're not going to be casting stuff at you. Like, they're not just going to be able to just hard cast Frostbolts at you. The good mages are going to try and get in range of both you and your Fell Hunter, and you're going to be spamming instants up in your face. Cone of Gold, Arcane Explosion, all this type of stuff.
Yeah, they're going to drop a Pyro Blast. They're basically trying to AoE you and your pet down at the same time.
And your pet can get cleaved down somehow. Like, the mages does so much damage. Like, you have to consider keeping your pet off somewhere else, because really
yeah. I think it's largely spec dependent. Like, if we're talking Soul Link, it's obviously favored and the Warlock's favored, but SM Ruin and Conflict can be a little bit more difficult.
Here's the report.
Yeah. One thing I like to do that this is just my personal one thing I like to do. I always try to use my Death Coil as heal. Now, if I'm Death Coiling a mage, I'm going to Death Coil the mage. I'm instantly going to start casting Soulfire, right? And then about 2 seconds, I'm going to Blanket Silence him. And then I'm going to hit him with the Soulfire.
That's sick, dude.
And then, after the Soulfire, I'm going to Shadowburn.
That's
so
actually
he's gonna sit there, and he's gonna, because usually a mage isn't gonna, like, they always, like, wait for the Soulfire to come out, then they ice block, right?
Yeah.
Now you can't ice block. You're gonna get Soulfire, and you're gonna get Shadowburn.
You have to wait a little bit longer, though, right? You have to wait, what, 3 seconds before you...
I think it's 2. I think 2 seconds. Because the blanket should be free.
Mark my words,
Something else you can do too, because of spell batching, if you're casting your Soulfire and you're expecting them to try and block it, you can Rocket Helm as your Soulfire's got about a second left. It still goes off with the travel time of the Rocket Helm. It keeps casting because of batching.
Let me pause this video really quick. Fuck, man. I'm getting to the point now where I'm contemplating on Warlock, man. And
what arrow add-in is that?
Oh, this is Zygor Guides. Leveling add-on. I like it better than Rested XP. A lot of people are on that Rested XP grind hype, but I think Zygor is just better. I just prefer Zygor. I think it offers more. And I've tested both guides and they're almost nearly identical. As far as like the leveling routes and stuff. Fuck, man. I keep... Ugh.
Is there one for after you get past LVL 20?
Yeah, of course. This gets you all the way to 60 if you're just questing. It has more than just leveling guides too. It has all the quests for like dungeons and stuff. So if I want to do Dead Mines, I can load the Dead Mines quests. Gets me all the Dead Mines quests.
Oh, but you gotta pay, right?
I think it's like $8 a month, but it's worth it in my opinion. You get dungeon leveling guides, you get events, you get gold making guides, you get teaches you how to level your profession guides. Yeah, all that stuff.
Nah, I meant for free.
Is there one that you... No, there's no free Zygor.
Why do you have TTS?
Why do I have TTS? I don't know what that is.
Text to speech.
Just easier to pay attention to chat. Half the time I'm not looking at it. Sometimes I'll stream and I'll just be grinding, or I'll turn on music and stuff like that. I'm not really paying attention to chat, so it's just a good little feature to have. I'm not like a mega streamer, so I'm not like constantly getting a high inflow of people. Sometimes when I get raided and stuff, every once in a while I'll get raided and stuff. When that happens, then I turn it off, and there's a ton of people typing in chat. But I don't stream enough for that to be super consistent.
I sent him a load of blast powder weeks ago, but he's made no mention of it in this report. So, where did the blast powder go?
Where did it go?
Iron Band still needs blast powder, then buy
man, I don't know what I want to do. I'm on the fence on what I want to do.
He'll prepare the powder and other supplies
Trying to think. I don't know. I'm on the fence between a few classes. I'm on the fence between Hunter, Mage, Warlock, Paladin, to main. I like all of them. I want a class that's really good at leveling, really good at dungeons.
Why do you want to change?
What do you mean? What do I want to change? Ooh, you know what class I need to try to fuck around with on?
Your class.
I'm trying to like experiment. I'm trying to... Okay, let me explain my thought process, and maybe this will help. So I'm trying to find something that's really good at leveling. So my favorite thing to do in WoW is PvP. I've hit in 2400 pretty much every expansion. I've never played vanilla though, and I've never hit rank 14. So that would be a dope goal, but I don't think that would be a realistic one. But I would be happy with like 12, maybe 13.
Hunter or Warlock good for leveling.
Yeah, I know that. I've hit 60 on Warlock, Hunter, and Vanilla.
Oh, wow.
On those two. I have a lot of WoW experience, but I'm trying to... So, okay. Let me finish explaining what I'm trying to say. And maybe this will... I need more people to give me. So I want something that's good at leveling. I want something that's obviously good at all forms of PvP, dueling, world PvP, BGs. Those, all forms of PvP. And then I want something that's good at dungeons as well. I don't necessarily care if the class is good at raiding. However, if it's good at raiding, that's just a bonus. So the class that I know for a fact is good at all those is Mage. But I don't enjoy leveling Mage. Mage is fun in PvP. Man, I don't know. I enjoy Hunter, but Hunter's pretty hard. Not that I don't mind that per se.
I want to do a duo or trio or even party.
Yeah, that's hard to get, like, all the way up to 60. Good luck on finding people that stay around long enough to do that. That's hard to find. I'm trying to think, do I even want to pursue 18 to 20? See, at this point, I'm ready to do dungeons. What do I think? I'm trying to think. My hunter is pretty geared on horde side. He is 41. I'm kind of regretting going fucking Tauren, though. I could try my shaman to see if I like that. Get that to 20, see how that feels. Leveling wise, so
Is
far
HC
my
1K
favorite.
Or classic better?
I mean, that's subjective, man. That's personal preference. There's no. That's like. There's no answering that question. I don't like hardcore only because I like to PvP, and I'm not doing hardcore PvP. That's just wild. If I was just leveling only and didn't care about anything else, then I would totally play hardcore. But I also like to do dungeons multiple times. I like to use the auction house, and you can't do any of that stuff in hardcore. Well, you could do the dungeons, you're only allowed to do them once. And if you don't get the item that you're going there for, then oh well. So, hardcore is cool and all, but like, Hardcore is for the players that have already done everything there is to do in this game. I haven't done everything there is to do in this game. So, here's the deal. I know a class I would totally play if I had a pocket healer with me the entire time. I'd play Warrior. They are the best class for all content. But you need a pocket healer. You need like a Holy Pally or a Resto Shaman with you all the time. All the time.
He'll be your shaman.
I don't enjoy Warrior though, is the thing. Do I even want to try to level an Ellie Resto? I don't know. Trying to think. Trying to think on what I want to do. Do I want to finish the Warlock? Drain tanking leveling is really fun. I do remember that, and that is good. But that doesn't get activated until like 30. And it doesn't fully get activated until 40. And that's quite a bit of a grind. And I've already done that before. So I'm trying to think. Hunter's really not that gear dependent. I haven't tried Rogue. I know they're good too. But I don't know how... Trying to think. I don't know if I would like Rogue. I don't know. What do you Yeah, it's got to be either Hunter, Warlock, Mage, or Paladin. Well, Paladin starts slowing down here soon. They're OP in the beginning. I swear Paladin's like actually broken the first 30 levels. So good. Really good class early on. But then they start getting really super gear dependent. They're probably the second most gear dependent class in the game. Could play Holy though. That's what I'll end up playing, but... I don't know, man. I'm like in a pickle, like on what I want to do. Dude, I do have my, I spent a lot of time on my Hunter. I do have, man, dude, I have so much good shit on my Hunter. I have engineering almost maxed on my Hunter. I have, I got my mount, my level 40 mount. I have 200 something gold on him. I have, Broken Tooth on him. I have a lot of good shit on my Hunter. Do I finish Hunter? Or do I do Shadow Priest? Shadow Priest would be another good, but man, dude, leveling a Shadow Priest, the first, like, the early levels suck. The early levels are so fucking boring. Until level 40, and I respect the actual pure Shadow. Fuck, what do I want to do? I don't know. Shadow Priest sucks in dungeons. They're good at 1v1 PvP, but that's really about it. Yeah, no. I think it's gonna come down to Mage or Hunter. The more and more I think about it. Because I'm starting to really, like, dislike the slow playstyle of Warlock. Fuck.
You don't want me as your healer.
No, I'd be down. I'm down to play with people for sure. I mean, what do you have, or would you start from scratch? Yeah, but most of the people I play with, man, they end up quitting within like a week or less. Is the problem.
What realm are you on?
I'm on the Whitemane cluster. Anything
no
that's
quitting
linked,
for me.
anything that's on the Whitemane cluster. Classic era. Non-hardcore. If we're gonna duo level, one of the strongest dual leveling comps is Paladin and Warlock, actually.
I think I have Priest LVL 12 already.
Border Alliance. I have tunes on both sides, but I'm like contemplating on what I want to do. Oh man. Fuck. What do I want to do? Alright, let me see something really quick. I'm actually curious. Because I potentially might, maybe make a horde. Or not a horde, an alliance hunter. Actually, would that even be worth it? What can you be? You can be dwarf, night elf. Is that it for hunter? Can't be human, can't be gnome.
My priest was Windseeker, but we can make new ones.
Dwarf, night elf. Your priest was what? Sorry. I don't know what that means. You have to play on the Whitemane cluster, meaning anything that is linked to Whitemane.
Realm.
I don't know if Windseeker's linked to the Whitemane cluster. I could tell you which ones are, though. Here, I'll just show you real quick, since I'm contemplating on what I want to do at this point. So I got a priest up here. Okay, so here's the realms that are linked to Whitemane. Whitemane's the main server. Fairbanks is linked to it. Arcanite Reaper's linked to it. What do I have on Arcanite Reaper? I'm actually curious. I have a priest, an undead priest. Okay. There's like 5 other servers that are linked to this. I don't remember them all, but if you could Google it and you can find all the servers that are linked to it. I think it's anything that's normal pop. Or no, they're high now. We're on high pop. That's insane. So these are all, anything that's PvP high pop, I think is linked to it. These are all Thunder Fury, Smolder Web, Rattle Core. Any of the, you can play on any of these servers. Just play on Whitemane. This is the main server. So what Blizzard did is they made clusters for Era. What that means is it's like one giant server now. So all these servers are linked together. That means you share the same auction house. You could be in the same guild. You can trade. All that stuff. It treats it as one giant server. So just play on Whitemane. This is the main one. Speaking of which, what do I have on this side? I got my...
Yeah, let's go.
I have my warrior, but like... so gear dependent, man. Like... well, what are you gonna make? Could get on my shaman. But I don't know, man. Nothing's holding my interest of what I'm wanting to do.
Alliance or Horde first?
Oh, man. It don't matter, but... dude, this guy is so geared, too. My mage is decently geared too. Ish. Do I just want to try fucking my shaman? You know what I'm saying?
You can always see back, you don't have to delete them.
No, I'm not deleting my characters. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to like get to 60 first and be my quote-unquote main. You know what I mean? Could try shaman. Do I try shaman? Is that what I want to do? What do you want to play? I think if I start from level 1, I'm going to probably try shaman just because I don't have one yet. And I want to try Ellie Resto because I know it's good. Hold on, let me see something really quick. Vanilla, WoW, PvP.
What's good with shaman?
Warrior for sure. Any melee, really. The Elemental Shaman. With the might of elements coursing through them, elemental shamans are devastating forests, battleground, shocking multiple people. Before the various elemental shocks, elemental shamans hit hard and fast and even heal themselves in large chunks. Positioning is everything with elemental shaman. If you close combat while keeping your totems, buffing your allies, lightning bolt will be your go-to spell for the most part, paired with the occasional chain lightning for trying to spread damage and pressure. Frost shock is good. Is a good burst spell that deals heavy damage and slows enemy, cutting off their easy escape. Her shock will be your next best friend as it interrupts cast, prevents cast from the school for a second, plus build on self, which is insane for a classic interrupt. That is pretty fucking insane. That is pretty fucking insane. Could funnel this guy some fucking gold. Elemental shamans do well with versatile blend of damage and healing, while our spell list is pretty focused on damage and verse builds, grants you potent heals without 2 sheep and a cost, letting safe allies from blah blah blah, giving dedicated healers breathing room. Furthermore, nature swiftness boosts your other spells by making either long damage or healing cast instantaneous. All your totems are highly useful, but do require some forethought and macros for different situations. We strongly recommend having Earthbind Totem out all the time, though, as the AoE slow is invaluable for killing enemies. As for weaknesses, classes that can kill totems quickly or outlast your damage long enough to drain your mana are a massive threat. Without those totem passes, you'll find yourself struggling a bit more utility. Additionally, ranged classes that can stay away from your offensive totems can be quite troublesome if you have no help distracting them. I could make another Shadow Priest, Holy Paladin, Arms Warrior, Frost Mage, Rogue. I don't know if I agree with this tier list. Arms Warrior, Frost Mage, Assassination, and Subtlety Rogue. Holy Paladin, Demonology, and Destruction Warlock, Shadow Priest. Frost Nova is capable of locking down entire groups of players at once, allowing up to players to blah 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 blah. Holy Paladin, hands down one of the best specializations in the game. As they take everything that already makes him strong in PvE. Shadow Priest is regarded one of the best solo PvP class, the classic WoW, the array of offensive spell, blah 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 blah. Trying to think. I'm trying to think what I want to do. I could just log on my... You know what I could do? Because I do want to get my mage up. Fuck, what do I want to do, man? I don't fucking know. I do have a level 8 no mage.
Play with me.
Yeah, I'm down. I'm down to play with you. I just don't know what I want to play. What are you playing? What class are you making?
Be shaman and I can be warlock.
Could do that, I guess, but fuck, I don't know, dude. I just fuck. I don't know if I want to do that, man. I mean, maybe. Do I want to do that? Has a lot of overlap with Resto, as many of the towns are good both damage and healing. Allow them to spec into for someone like many high res elements and maintains very high damage control, capable of bursting down other players and very quickly also keeping a respectable amount of healing. Elemental builds have a choice between greater invisibility, blah 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 blah. Restoration Shaman differs. Strongest PvP class do the wide range of offensive defense abilities. Frost Nova is capable of locking down entire groups standard by allowing them to players to go to charge other strong AoE. Mages bring strong single target multiplier damage, allows slams, blah 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 blah. Hurricane typically aren't predators. Power blast, but I might do mage, man. Yeah.
What LVL is your mage?
Mage Warlock would be a good combo because, well, I have a 24 mage on Horde, I think. What level is my mage on Horde? Yeah, he's 24, and then on Alliance he's level 8. I just made him earlier, but
IDB starting new.
Yeah, I can come to the starting zone with you and help you kill shit. Let me transfer some gold over really quick. Just make a Whitemane, or you can go to Fairbanks. It don't matter, whichever. Any of the high pop PvP servers, they're linked to Whitemane. I think I'm gonna do mage. This mage is literally good at everything. It's literally good at literally everything. Like literally everything. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do
What
mage.
should I be?
Warlock is really good, like super good. In fact, Warlock Mage would be a really good combo the more I think about it, because we can summon people to dungeons. I can also port people everywhere. We can have ports everywhere. I can summon people. I can give you food and water. You can give hellstones. I think Mage Lock would be a really good combo the more I think about it. And then of course any kind of healer. If you were like Holy Pally, that would be really good too. It depends on what you're wanting to do. Are you wanting to DPS, tank, or heal? If we're playing Alliance, go Holy Pally. If you're gonna heal, I just think it's so good. It's so fucking good.
I like all three.
As far as efficiency and speed, I feel like Warlock Mage would be a really good combo. Actually, low key, double Mage is actually really fucking good too.
Okay.
Double Mage is really good as well. Can't go wrong with that. But yeah, I feel like Warlock Mage would be a good combo. Holy Pally would be a good combo with anything, really. Yeah, Holy Pally would just be crazy with anything. Here's the thing with Paladin, you could tank, DPS, and heal, so there's the benefit of that. You have to respec though, and it costs gold. So gold is scared. It's in Classic, man. You gotta have a game plan going in. But I've done a lot of testing. I've done a lot of testing. So
yeah,
I pretty much figured out the best professions for every class while leveling. Pretty much. So if this was a fresh server, it'd be herbalism skinning, without a doubt. But since
I'm gonna make a gnome warlock.
You're gonna make a gnome warlock? Okay. So if you're making a gnome warlock, I'll get on my mage. Do you think I want to send my fucking mage? Could send him all this fucking linen back. 29 gold. Do I not want to send him anything else? Maybe all these herbs. Definitely gonna send him light feather. What else do I want to send him? I want to send him that. Dude, yeah, that's another thing that's annoying about Warlock that I just thought of. The soul shard management. Oh, actually, I fucking can't stand that. That's such a... Ugh. I just thought of that. That's so cringe. Fuck soul shard management. I think that's everything I want to send him. I want to send him that too. He's got the wands already. Yeah, I think we're good. Alright, logging on the mage. Bye-bye Warlock. Maybe not forever, but mage is like the least gear dependent class too. Mage and hunter. I wonder if I should make a hunter with you as like a start. Actually, I'm gonna do that. Wait, do I want to do that? Yeah, dwarf hunter. Do I want to make a dwarf hunter? I think I'm gonna make a dwarf hunter and catch up to my mage. Do I want to do that? I think I want to do that. My mage is not far though. Hold on. Contemplating here. Oh, my herbalism is 29. Here, I can just come help kill shit with you. What's your name? Or just add my battle tag. Athlon TV, hashtag 1397.
This name.
Just add my battle tag here. Athlon TV, hashtag 1397. I'm running towards the starting area now. Cold Ridge Valley. Actually, I should just level up my herbalism until you catch up to me. Should I do that? Do you have
How do I open that?
Do you have a leveling add-on or no? How do you open what?
How do I open that to add you?
Oh. Are you brand new to WoW?
No.
You press the letter O to open up your friends list, and then you just go to add friend, and then you type in my real ID, which is, or my battle tag, or my email. You can just do my email as well. What is my email for WoW? I think it's my name, ericfraze@gmail.com. That works.
Sent.
Yeah, I accepted it. I don't see you on though. Like in the game. Wait, where are you? I don't see you on. You haven't made your guy yet?
Starting zone.
Yeah, I don't see you on my friends list here.
Try now.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, just do what I did. Fairbanks for Alliance, and then Whitemane for Horde or whatever. Damn, I wish I had Blink. I don't have Blink yet. I would highly, 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 highly recommend... How the fuck am I supposed to get this? Blizzard is so troll. How am I supposed to get this? What? Oh my god. Oh, you got a nerd jump? Fuck, man, I don't have Nova yet either. I'm like slowly making my way towards you right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let you attack the mobs and do most of the damage, and then I'm just gonna one-shot them for you. That way you get all the experience. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I think Mage is the play, man. It's just so fast, too. Alright, bro. Alright, bro. Can I sheep you? Can. Fuck you, piece of shit. Oh my god, bro. Fuck off. Like, seriously. Yeah, and I can AoE for him too. Yeah, I just need to play Mage. Mage is... Ugh. Mage and Hunter are just my two favorite. They're just my go-to. The more I play these two classes, I keep like, why do I get off them? Kind of thing.
I can't cast that yet.
Hunter is fun.
It is. Honestly, what makes me stop playing Hunter in Classic, and it's the only thing that makes me stop playing it, is the fact that I have to stand still to shoot. If it was like, I think they changed that in Cataclysm. If it was like that, if they changed that, like how it was in Cataclysm, I'd play Hunter all day. But I still enjoy Hunter, even though I have to stand and cast and shoot or whatever. To auto attack, stand still to auto attack or whatever. The only thing that sucks about Coldridge is I can't, there's no herbs in Coldridge. They're only in the rest of Dunmoreau. But all G. I'm heading towards you now. What level is my herbalism? It is now 39. Oh, we're gonna get that thing. That's 75 easy. Oh, I saw an herb. Go back. Dopamine. Herb. Peace bloom. Wish I had blink. Yeah, Mage is so broken, dude. The more and more I keep thinking about it, man, Mage is just fucking silly. Only one target can be opponent at a time. Only works on beasts, humanoids, and critters. Whoa, can I reset you, dude? Because I did not mean to move you. How do I fix you? Oh no, not good. Reset route settings. How do I lock you, bro? Sheesh. Alright. Alright, what's your character's name? Too honest? Too honest.
Yeah.
So we could run a spell cleave in dungeons. So the best dungeon comp is technically priest, 2 mages, a warlock, or if you're really coordinated, it would be priest, 3 mages, and a warlock, and you don't run with a tank. The mages do enough fucking AoE kiting to where the lock pulls with his let me help you out, bud. You're welcome. So many hunters too. That's another reason why I should play fucking mage. I barely see warlocks. Oh, that's not true. I've been seeing a lot of warlocks lately.
It's a fun calzes.
I do see a shit ton of warriors, rogues, hunters. And mage does good against all those classes. A good hunter could be a nightmare though, but see, there's a rogue right there. I am starting to see more warlocks, but I'm seeing more... What's up? How join LFG? Huh? Let's see if I can find you out here in the world. So you're level 2, so you're probably doing the first 2 quests. Oh, here's a paladin. Paladins are fun too, man. I enjoy paladin leveling. People say it's boring, but like, I don't know, getting them juicy fucking Seal of Command procs does become a pretty gear dependent class though. You can chat in LFG. Yeah, what do you mean? Is that you? Nope, it's not you. Let's see if I can find you. Where are you at? You over here maybe? Do you have a leveling guide up? Or just do you know how to level fast?
Rest EXP.
Oh, rested works. Look at all the mages, man. So many mages. So many mages. I wonder what mage's biggest weakness is.
I gotta go in a cave.
You gotta go in a cave. I think I know where you're at then. You're gonna be over here somewhere. There's a warlock here. That's not you though. There's a mage you just leveled. Where is this cave? Oh, you're probably over here then. What time is it? 2:30 in the morning? Fuck, I do need to go to bed soon. Let's speed level you out of here. Are you in this cave? You're probably in this cave.
I can't even find the cave. This arrow is terrible.
Yeah, I don't like rested XP, man. I'm in the cave that I think you need to go to. Oh, there you are.
Greetings.
You get less XP if I'm in your group, man. Just so you're aware. A level 3 gray just resisted
Why
my
less?
Fire Blast. It's always less when you're in group. It's always been that way. So I was just gonna follow you around and let you get the tag, and then I would just like clean them up when they're low health. So you get full EXP.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just better. You get less, yeah. Hold on real quick, I need a other experience. Yeah. You have to do majority of the damage though. What?
I need to get closer.
That should help you a little bit. How much experience are you getting?
I don't know.
Oh, you don't have it turned on to show? Make sure you turn it on. You can also show it in your chat window. If you go to General, right click, go to Settings, go down to Other, and turn on Experience.
Done.
Done. This priest kind of fucking shit up, bruh. Oh. Dude, there's so many people in here, man. So many people leveling. It's crazy how many people are leveling, especially on the Alliance side. It's kind of wild. Fuck, man. People be killing everything in here.
I need an other feather.
Oh, what the fuck? Yo. Tag this. Tag this. Tag it. No. No, dude. Get this guy. Tag this guy. Tag him. Well, you gotta do more damage than that. Well, that guy didn't jack your shit, I hope. Okay, sweet. Oh, tag the guy in the middle. Hurry up, tag him. Tag the guy in the middle. Get him. Tag the guy in the middle. What are you supposed to do in here? Oh, there's a guy that spawned behind you. Tag him. Tag him. There you go. I'm already having so much fun on Mage. Crazy.
I need novices.
You need novices. This is a well. Here's the boss. Oh man. Wonder if I should help this guy. Tag the boss. Oh, got him. That mage is pissed. That mage is so pissed.
Hey guys, what's going on?
That guy's so pissed. Hey, what's...
You're funny.
Dude, that guy's so mad. How mad do you think this mage is? What's up, Jubs? Yeah, there you go. Keep tagging everything. I'll just fucking kill it. We're leveling tunes if you want to join, Jubs. Just keep...
Done, let's go.
Alright, let's go. What does your add-on say to do? Say to run out of the cave?
Die and rest on.
Okay. Go ahead and die. Get a bunch of dudes over here. I'll let them kill you. Tag a bunch of mobs. Yeah, run into that pack over there. Run into all three of them. There you go. You'll be dead soon. That's true. You will be. Alright, you should die pretty quick now. Oh, that's a dead. That's a dead. That's a dead. Too honest. Alright, I'm running back to you. Damn, a lot of mages. What counters mage the hardest?
These nuts.
Yeah? Boy, I bet that was way faster with me just blowing shit up for you. Can we cue Warsign Gulch pussies? Damn. Oh, speaking of which, where's my fucking calendar? Leetrix Plus, where are you? Where you at? Wait a minute. Okay, it's not Leetrix Plus, is it? Leetrix Maps? Where are you at? Be able to customize battlefield map requires you to increase zoom level. Zone map, never.
Next quest.
Why the fuck can I not see my calendar event? Hold on. Enhanced minimap. Hide world map button. What is? Do you have a calendar on your shit? What the fuck?
Calendar for what?
For your mini map. I want to see if it's a BG weekend of any kind. Enhance mini map, show
No.
cooldown, show frames. advantage frame, which is timer durability, class colored frame system. Easy. What the fuck? Does that just not exist in Classic?
What's on your mind? What can I get for you today?
Alright, while you're catching up to me,
Be good.
I want to do some research on something really quick. Classic WoW. Mage. PvP. Guide. Advanced mage techniques. That's a great wizard. Is this just a montage? It's just a montage. PvP BIS phase 2. We don't care about that. Umpire Mage, Honor Farming Spec. Cargoes. Is that his only thing? I thought he had a discussion with
3 Frostbolts. You're going to be able to cast 4 when you have 2 out of 2 Arctic Reach. That's the main thing. And if you have Permafrost as well, you should be able to squeeze in a Wand attack before you have to Nova and start creating space again. So 3 to 4 Frostbolts, squeeze in a Wand if you can, Nova, create space again, hit him with 1 to 2 Frostbolts. If they're already close to dead, you don't even need the Frostbolt, right? We talked about this earlier, just wand them to death.
I don't need a leveling guy, dude. Would it be under playlists? Stream playlist. Oh, he's got music on here? I don't want to fucking listen to your music, dude.
There's a rogue killing everything.
There's a rogue killing everything? Alright, hold on a second. I'm trying to... Dual leveling, revealing my first... Blah, 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 blah. I don't care about Burning Crusade. Warrior Shaman, that's a good duo. What class is the best fit for you? Blah, 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 blah.
Why are rogues so op?
I don't think they're that OP. Mages and hunters kind of fart on them pretty hard, in my opinion. Like, I don't have a problem fighting a rogue at all in my hunter. I kind of just poop on them. Same with mage. I feel like hunter. I mean, I feel like warlock too. Warlock can just fucking sack his voidwalker, fear him, dot him up. There ain't nothing he can do. They're OP against you right now until you get voidwalker. Once you get voidwalker and you learn sacrifice, you actually just poop on rogues. Rogue's kit doesn't get better until like mid-20s or something like that. Duo no mage speed leveling. Trying to find classic WoW duo leveling theory. I don't care about that. PvP, classic beta, new class leveling tips. No. Which class? Featuring Platinum WoW. Burning Crusade, we don't care about that. Warlock Priest, we don't care about that. Just keep leveling up, dude. I'm trying to find something. I got fucking thousands, like hundreds of videos go through, it looks like. So warrior requires wear an axe, custom blah 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 blah. Hardcore, we don't care about that. Launch. Leveling 30, 40. First classic WoW, Altered Valley beta. Seasons of Mastery. Rogue leveling Iron Man? Oh, that sounds fucking terrible. Season Mastery, round table, good morning. Class leveling workshop, we don't care about that. We don't care about that. Pallylock duo. That's a good one too.
Why can't we get in some?
What do you mean? Season of Mastery is over for now. Season of Mastery 2 is going to be coming out here in the next like couple months. It's already been confirmed. There's just no set date.
Why does it finish?
Well, because then it wouldn't be much of a season if it was infinite, right? That's the whole point. The idea behind it is kind of like Diablo seasons. Support in Season of Mastery. No, we don't care about that.
How do I get in the next one?
What do you mean? You just wait till it comes out, till the servers are up, and you just play when they launch the servers. Hold on, do I just type in maybe Cargos Mage PvP? Does he not have a fucking roundtable discussion for that? Maybe this one.
Critical utility. I do feel that they are the most selfish class. To me, the greatest utility they provide in like a dungeon setting or a leveling environment is their ability to stun lock targets. They're able to stun lock targets in dungeons, and that can be pretty valuable. But you have to keep in mind, Sap, unless it's talented into, is going to break stealth. Better believe they are. Alright, so I'd probably for main tanking. Rogue is going to be a else. This is opposed to something like maybe a warrior, where like on how many consumables you have, you know, you're not going to be able to be, you know, your duo composition. The banish for Gar and is really a lot of people don't feel this way, but I like the win condition of rotting. You know what I mean by rotting, so putting up dots, damage over time spells. I like that. Some people that is lame to them. So, but I personally like that. Hots and dots, super cool to me. Yeah, so that's going to be it for Warlock. We'll move on to the next one now, which is going to be Mage. All right. Let's see here. All right, let's move on. So Mage, guys, again, when I look back at that first guide I made, the class selection guide, a few months back, I think I maybe valued Mages too low. I've sort of had some revelations about Mage. So Mage is really, I can't stress it enough. It is so good in Classic WoW, guys. Mages are insane. I mean, but I do think it takes some skill to play a mage pretty effectively. I mean, just in the sense that
I don't agree. I feel like mage is significantly easier than most specs. Am I crazy? I don't find mage hard. I just don't. I really don't, man.
It's Calrose. I hope everybody's enjoying Classic as much as I am. Today I'm gonna give you guys some great tips for mastering your mage in Classic WoW. In the interest of keeping this short and easy to digest, let's jump right in, shall we? My first tip is something that I briefly discussed in my mage AoE grinding guide, and that is what's commonly referred to as leeway. In short, leeway is a result of the game's code, where characters or entities gain an extra 2
Alright, where are you
range
at?
on all of their attacks and abilities, including melee swings whilst moving. The reason that this matters is that it can be
Fuck,
greatly
dude.
taken
I really do
advantage
need to go to
of
bed,
when
bro. It's
instant
3 o'clock in the
characters,
morning.
quote-unquote.
Are you gonna be on tomorrow? I need to see what time I go to work, dude. I'm being a total degenerate right now. Hold on. Let me see what time I have to be at work. I don't have to be till 12, but it's getting fucking really late. I'm gonna be working straight through too. Fuck, I wonder where my hours are right now. I want to pick up Sunday nights. Oh, man, I really don't like my fucking schedule. You're on the trolls. I don't oh. Alright, well just keep grinding, man. You're gonna catch up to me. I just...
Cold, Fire Blast, Frost Nova, and Arcane Explosion. Even if someone is...
I don't need tips and tricks, man. Ultimate first rogue duel guide.
LVL4.
Nice. What is this?
Half frost, half fire. There's a couple of different ways to build this spec. I'm going to go over the main. You just lose.
I don't need
this that I've got here are rings. So one of the rings I've got is Blood of the Martyr, which is a great PvP ring. 15 stamina and 10 intellect is a huge amount of stats, but it has no offensive stats on it whatsoever. So the other ring that I've chosen to go with is Ring of Spell Power, which is the opposite. It has absolutely no base stats on it whatsoever, but it has a huge amount of damage and healing. So by doing this, I'm supplementing having 2 balanced rings by having one that's on the extreme end of damage and one that's on the extreme end of survivability and utility through stamina and intellect. If you have too many offensive stats, you're just going to fall over, and the opposite. If you go for too much stamina and intellect, yeah, you're going to have a huge health and mana pool, but when you get somebody into like a Shatter combo or a Pompyro or something like that, you won't have the damage to actually combo them down. So gearing is a process that you really need to be active in thinking about, and you always need to gear to your playstyle, to your spec. Things like Spirit, if you want to hear. The second downranked spell that I would also consider mandatory, especially if you're any kind of Frost spec, is Rank 1 Blizzard. Rank 1 Blizzard combined with
This is all common knowledge shit, man.
Rogues and Druids.
I already know all this.
Downranking, keep channeling and keeping them in combat.
I already know all that. What a fucking waste of my time listening to that Frostbane preview spec guide.
Arcane Focus, because it's less for PvP. Amplify magic on yourself. That's really good for survival bit of gameplay. with Deep Frost.
I got it.
Alright, so here we are on the Frost Mage. Now, I'm going to go over a little bit of spells here. So let's start off in the Arcane Tree. Now, we have this spell called Amplify Magic. For those of you who don't know, it amplifies the magic against the target party member, increasing damage taken from spells by up to 112 and healing from spells by up to 225. Now, what this translates into is if you're fighting a caster, he does more damage to you, but you get healed for more. If you fight a melee, he does normal damage, but you get healed for more. And then the opposite of that is called Dampen Magic. So it dampens the magic against the target party member, decreasing damage taken by spells by up to 135 and healing by up to 270. So if you're fighting a caster, the caster will do less damage to you, but you will also receive less healing, if that makes sense. So yeah, I just wanted to cover that. Another thing to watch for is this spell called Clear Casting. Basically what it means is that once you cast a spell, you have a chance of a 10% chance of entering a clear casting state, reducing the mana cost of your next.
Man. North Mage PvP.
Let's talk BIS lists, Phase 2, Mage. It's on everyone's mind with the release of ranking later today, actually. So let's dive right into it.
Greetings.
And welcome to my first Mage 1 vs 1 guide. It's a well-known fact that rogues are degenerate mouth breathers, and no one likes getting grilled by a dagger-wielding sycophant out in the world. Thankfully, you're a mage, so you don't have to. This guide will cover the basics of fighting a rogue in a 1 vs 1. If you're interested in more of the nitty-gritty surrounding the matchup, there will be a part 2 of this video that goes over just that. But before we begin, you should know that doing well in a rogue vs mage is about wasting a rogue's cooldowns, getting distance so you don't get CC'd and bursted down, and getting in safe damage while you maintain control. So let's begin with an overview of the rogue cooldowns you'll be wasting. First up is Vanish. It's a 5-minute cooldown, and it's rogue's in-combat re-stealth that will dodge spells that are currently in mid-air.
This is what I need to know.
It won't immediately stop your current casts.
How to fight other classes.
Saying that there isn't a target, which is part of the reason why you don't want to cast long, max-strength spells on rogues. For Rogue is Spec 2 to Elusiveness, it'll bring Vanish down to a 3.5-minute cooldown. Next up is Sprint, which is a 5-minute cooldown.
Bro, I hate to do this, man, but it's fucking 3 a.m. in the morning. I really should go to bed. I got to work a double tomorrow. Where do you live, man? Like, could we play tomorrow night? You'll probably catch up to me by then anyways.
Australia.
Oh, God. You're on the other side of the planet. Okay. Yeah, it's 3 o'clock in the morning here. I'm going to be on tomorrow around like 10 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time in the United States. I live in Florida, so I don't know what that would translate to you. So, like, yeah. I don't know what time it is there where you're at, but it's super late for me, dude. And I really do need to go to bed. I didn't get my mail yet, either. I guess it hasn't been an hour. I just like being on the fucking mage. I should go to Ironforge and turn in my shit. Oh man, thank you for the follow, my broski.
Going to bed, thank you so much, you'll be on tomorrow. Jid, my dude. Okay. Night asterisk.